Joined here on our Crusaders off-season check-ins by another one of the members of the graduating class of 2020. It's Reid Irwin. Reid, checking in from Victoria. My friend, you say the weather was excellent over the weekend. 27 degrees.
Yeah, no, it was a nice way to spend Mother's Day, and it's kind of why living on the island's a little more expensive. The weather's nicer, but you just gotta enjoy the time outside and take advantage of being right by the ocean and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel fortunate, but hopefully everyone in Edmonton's doing well.
Well, and you put it nicely there, and I think as you're having as much free time now as anybody to go and enjoy that weather, of course, with how the season ended, but we'll get into that. We'll rewind it back a bit first. You, as a member of the Lloydminster Bobcats, get traded over at last year's trade deadline, along with the captain of that team, Zach Kaiser. We've talked over the course of your tenure as a Crusader, about what it meant to make that transition to a successful program. But just for the sake of this one, let's rewind the clock to sort of your first couple games as a Crusader. What were you thinking when you were a part of that deal, coming over, from a team that was in the basement to a team that was contending for the title, and then got to do it a second year over?
Yeah, no, good question. Yeah, it was. I feel very, very, very fortunate to have gotten that bounce. I know Kai's was kind of the piece that they were looking to add, and I kind of just scrambled my way in there. And no, I'm thankful it all happened. And for the first couple of games, it was a big difference just in the type of players you have on your team and who you're passing the puck to. But I felt after maybe the first handful of games, I kind of found my way into the lineup, and just, I know Kai's had the same mindset. It's just try to contribute to the team as much as possible and not break anything up that they already had going. So no, it was the most fortunate move and bounce I got in my career so far. But yeah, I got lucky.
How valuable was that first playoff run last year for you guys? Obviously, this year it was ripped right out from underneath you, but last year you got to push deep into the North Division final against Spruce Grove. That's the kind of hockey that you guys live to play for, right? So that must have been a nice sample size for what everything building towards this season was all about. It must have given you a nice look at what the Crusaders franchise was.
Yeah, no, I was just talking with Jeff down this season stretch, and when we already had the North secured, so it was, at least for me, it wasn't like I was looking past regular season games, but I really just wanted to get into the meaningful hockey games. And the Fort McMurray series against Whitey and his boys was it was a fun matchup. And then for Spruce Grove, that was valuable too. Unfortunately, I got a little injury, but it was I know all of us took a lot from it, and we were hoping to get to use that experience and kind of fire inside of us for a probable series against them in the North Finals too. But no, it was. I'm really happy I got that experience, because in Lloydminster, I definitely wouldn't have.
Let's talk about, I guess, year one versus year two with the Crusaders and what the differences may have been, because you would have obviously known what Crusaders hockey was about. You would have had the familiarity with a guy like a Michael Benning or whomever you ended up playing with to start 2019, 2020 on that back end. So it's not a foreign situation anymore. But I'm wondering, because this team was so heavily favored, was there some added pressure? Was there differences in the vibe on the team between year one and year two for you as a Crusader?
I think everyone kind of knew what the goal was coming into year two, and I can't say that they didn't think that my first year with the Crusaders either. I know we had good teams both years, but just with our returning core, we knew we had a really good opportunity to succeed, and we just put in the hard work and bonded as a team. We could take advantage of that. And I think, for me personally, it was, as a 20-year-old, it's honestly just kind of trying to help out the young guys and trying to be a good role model with your work ethic, and thinking about the team first. And in a situation that we had this year, just with so many good players an opportunity to succeed if you put the team first. So yeah.
You committed to the University of Denver, which is obviously one of the marquee NCAA hockey programs last year. Having that commitment under your belt for all of this year, you're talking about leadership and mentorship. Did it sort of place an added value on maybe the headiness of the hockey game, knowing that you've got quite a bit more to lose here, quite a bit more on the line now that you've got an affiliation to one of the top programs right across North America?
Yeah, I think it's just with that and playing with it for the 20-year-old season. I think it's all about kind of keeping your foot on the pedal and not taking that opportunity for granted, or the belief that they have in you, and kind of trying to show like every day why you're granted that opportunity. And obviously like humility. Don't treat it like you're any different than any of your teammates. And like I said, we had a couple of young kids like Kev, Shatsky, Bill, and just trying to help those guys out as much as possible in their careers, and trying to be a good role model for them. So I think, commitment or not, it was just trying to have a good work ethic. Listen to Jeff, who's an awesome coach, and just communicate with your teammates too. So yeah.
I want to get your thoughts on the coaching staff in a moment, because all of the defenders of the Crusaders have such great things to say about Jeff. But just specifically with Denver, I mean, you're committing there, and we talked a little bit about Lloydminster, and they're just, in my opinion, there wouldn't have been the opportunity for the exposure as a member of the Bobcats, right? But you get a look, and Denver's no slouch of a program. These are national championships not too far in the past. So just from the perspective of your family, I mean, when you get that commitment from that school after coming over last year, like what was the buzz? What was the excitement level like?
Yeah, no, it happened really fast. And like you said about the exposure part, if I'm not playing with Sav or Mikey, they wouldn't it wouldn't have happened, right? So I was really, like, obviously very, very grateful Chaser traded for me, and the opportunity I got with the coach and with the Crusaders right away. No, but it happened really quick. It was just probably 2 months after the trade, and like you said, it's not a bad program. So it was an offer I couldn't turn down, and it felt, because in Lloydminster we weren't very successful, but I feel like kind of the work I put in during that time, even though we kept losing games, I know I didn't stop believing in myself, and knew if I got the opportunity, I would try as hard as I can to take advantage of it. So it was all really fortunate timing, and I'm happy I put in the work and in leading up to my trade over to the Crusaders. And I definitely wouldn't have got the exposure I did in Sherwood Park, then in Lloyd, but no, I'm really fortunate it all worked out.
So we've had these conversations with a guy like Matthew Shatsky, and he speaks so highly of what Jeff Woywitka means to you guys on the back end. So, and not to discount anything that goes on in Lloydminster, but it's kind of invaluable experience when you're working directly underneath a former first-round NHL draft pick. And it was a long time ago for Jeff, but still, he understands, not only the on-ice processes of the game, but the off-ice processes of the game. And I think that's a real big help to those on the back end of the Crusaders. Is that sort of a fair assessment?
No, that's just very well said. I think it's with coaches. I think with players nowadays, it's all about having the players trust, and knowing, and having the coach being able to relate to you and communicate in a manner that you'll respond to. And I mean, every day Jeff hit that box, and every day he's enjoying himself. I think that's the biggest thing. He's not snapping on anyone right away, and he wants everyone to succeed, no matter who you are on the lineup, 1 through 9 or whatever. He's seeing parts of your game that need improvement, or that you're doing well, and he'll communicate that in a very fair manner. And no, Jeff, he's an awesome dude. He's an awesome dude off the ice, on the ice, and I didn't have a D coach per se when I turned to defense in Lloyd. So he was kind of the first. I mean, he played in the NHL. He was the first round pick. So I trusted every word and advice he had for me. And no, I'll always appreciate Jeff a lot and keep in touch with him too.
I'm glad that you brought that up. Your skating, your teammate is in all likelihood going to get selected in the top 3 rounds of the NHL draft, and you may well have been the best skater on the back end of that team, at least in my opinion. But I know that argument could be made. That comes from you spending most of your career as a forward and then having transitioned to the defensive side of the game. I mean, you're transitioning in the AJHL, Reid. That's not necessarily an easy move to make, but because of your ability as a skater, I imagine that made things a little bit easier. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I started hockey, well, not super late when I was 8 or I think first year at 'em. But I always kind of had long, long legs. I was a good runner. So the skating kind of came naturally. And then, yeah, for forwards, obviously, all the forwards on our team know that forwards do a lot more skating than D-man during games and work a little harder. So when I got the opportunity to transition to defense in Lloyd, and it was like I wanted to be a D-man on my midget team, but for some reason my coach didn't want me there. And then I saw an opportunity in Lloyd my first year where I think we got shelled like 8-1 against Bonnyville, and it was tough to be a part of. So I was like, I kind of tried and I saw an opportunity. I was like, Coach, I've played defense a little bit, and I'd love to give it a try. It was against like Drayton Valley, and we won. Then the next day he had me on forward, just assuming that I just wanted to do it for a game. And I was like, no, like I want to stay here. So no, I'm happy Coach Clayton let me do that. And I think that, yeah, the skating's huge because it's about having a good gap and defensively keeping a good gap and being able to get out of trouble. So no, it's a fun transition.
And that's definitely part of the modern NHL defenseman's game. So you're going to get to go down and test out these skills and improve on these skills against the top flight competition in U.S. college hockey. Is there any, there's got to be some nervousness around that kind of thing, thinking about the kind of competition that you're going to be playing down there?
No, yeah, absolutely. And I know I definitely won't be going into the same situation. I went in with the Crusaders, as in I think we have Denver is maybe 9 D-men, and all of them are good players, right? So I'll definitely have to prove myself like anybody else has to, and yeah, just show them what type of player I am. I believe in myself. It might not happen right away, but it's a process. So just keep plugging away, and I'm excited for the opportunity.
Now, you're a confident guy, so I'm sure this would go well regardless, but it's got to be nice knowing that you are heading down to Denver with a couple of guys that you've played with for the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, no, it'll be exciting. I know they thought they were going to be playing in the USHL next year, and then a couple spots opened up on the team, and I mean, considering the years both of them had, they're very, very deserving of the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to seeing them grow. And they're going to jump right in and be good players for the team. So it's nice to have that familiarity with two good kids. So no, it's going to be fun.
Can you talk about your relationship with Michael Benning and just, how you guys sort of grew to be whatever you guys are now over your time as the Crusaders?
Yeah. Well, it was like the first game I got traded to the Crusaders. I think I got paired with Mikey, and it was definitely different. Yeah, just the way he thinks the game from my previous team. And then I wouldn't say I was in the doghouse, but I got taken off Mikey's left pairing defenseman, and it was like 3 or 4 games later, we were back together. And hockey wise, I think just we didn't play together a ton this year. I think maybe just even out the pairings, but get everyone involved. But I think just the way we think the game and move the puck, it's really fun. And then off the ice, I think all the boys will say he's a really really funny kid, and yeah, hell of a hockey player. It's just his poise is unbelievable, and he's a really smart kid. So yeah, he'll be a good player.
Couple more questions and we'll wrap it up with you. I'm looking over your shoulder this entire time. We've got the family portrait on the wall. It was just Mother's Day. Do you want to walk us through who we're looking at here?
Yeah, we have all the two photos you can see are just my family. One of them I have frosted tips from
Very
last year's
nice.
playoff run,
Very nice.
and one of them's in Mexico. One of them just in the fireplace. But yeah, we went on a little adventure for my mom, and we appreciate her a lot. So made her a card and some flowers for yesterday. So yeah.
Is it just mom, dad, and the two boys?
Yeah, I just have a younger sibling and then a couple dogs running around, two miniature schnauzers.
Right
Yeah.
on, a full-on hockey family. So, um, I guess from here, Reid, like what does the off-season training regime look like for you? It's been so individualized for everybody. Have you had anything from your agent, from the school? Are you just trying to do your own thing right now? What does it look like keeping in game shape so you're ready to go whenever the call comes in?
Yeah, fortunately there's or the strength and conditioning coach at Denver sent along workouts starting about 6 weeks ago. So I think that's kind of a regime I'll be on and we'll be on for the next 4 years, and it's tough, but it's been really good too. And the workouts they can facilitate me I just have dumbbells and a bench in my garage, and then just go to the local field for running. So in that sense, it's honestly it's fine. Just wake up, do it in the morning. It's tough not doing it with anybody, but that I think that grows kind of determination and character a little bit when you wake up and you know it's gonna suck, but you're gonna just do it anyways. So yeah, fortunately the DU coach has been sending along workouts.
What else are
Yeah.
you doing to kill the time? Are you working? Are you
Um,
gaming? Watching Netflix?
well, me and Max Wutzke, we had to take school, we had to do schooling during the second semester, so we finished that about 2 weeks ago. Other than that, we went up to the cabin once, and then just trying to see not without my mom knowing, but hanging out with buddies and going for bike rides and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I don't game very much. Watching the Michael Jordan documentary, it's
Yes.
pretty inspiring. So yeah, I mean Netflix has a ton of good shows, so it's easy. It's easy to pass more than a couple hours with that.
I agree. I think that people are going to look back on this time and be like, damn, like when the government was telling me to watch Netflix, I probably should have just shut up and done it.
Yeah.
You mentioned schooling. So you're going down to Denver. Obviously, student comes first and student athlete. What are you planning on studying?
They have a business school. So I think the first 2 years are just core courses, and you don't specialize, and then the last two are specializing in wherever it's finance, marketing, business management, whatever you decide. I don't know what I want to major in, but definitely the business stream. I don't have an end. I don't have an occupation I'm striving for yet. I haven't figured that out. But hopefully within the next couple of years, a path is I'll forge a path for myself. So yeah.
Could you see yourself working in the hockey side of business, or what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. I like hockey a lot though, and I mean, it's a long ways away, but I think potentially trying pro hockey after the 4 years at DU would definitely be something I'd want to look into and try for a couple of years, see how it goes. As for working, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, the real world, I think. Not that I've worked construction for the past 2 summers, so I know I don't want to be using my body to make any money. I want to be using my brain. So that's the experience I got.
I'm going to leave you with this, Reader. When you look back at your time as a Crusader, is there any one moment? Is there any game, a goal, a hat trick, a team accomplishment, anything that kind of really stands out to you as the moment?
I think against Spruce Grove, game one. I think I was -2 in the first period, It was a tough first period, and then the coaches kind of called me in and kind of let me know like that's not good enough type of thing, and kind of fired me up. And then Jetty teed me up for a one-timer in the third period with like 5 minutes left, and I scored the game winner. And then fortunately, Matt Benning, Ratty, Kara, and McDavid were at the game.
Oh,
So
I remember the one.
So McDavid came in and he spoke for like 15 seconds, but he gave me the game puck and we dapped up. So that was probably the coolest moment.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Right
no, it
there.
was a good story for my buddies.
You know what? As a 20-year-old, you've already left your mark on the AJHL. Going to be a crop of kids coming in next year, whether it's their first year with the Crew, first year in the AJ. Is there one real solid piece of advice you got or would like to relay on to them from your time?
Yeah, I think what it's I think what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it, and that's work. That's showing up every day for practice with a good mindset and working hard. Kind of creating friendships and bonds with your teammates, with your coaches. Yeah, and just believing in yourself too, no matter what the case is, because there's ups and downs. And hockey's it's a weird game like that. Things are all over the place. It's a roller coaster ride, but I think if you just keep believing in yourself and putting one foot in front of the other, you'll be fine. So